Ang unang 5 minuto pagkatapos mong magising ay ang pinaka-critical na window ng iyong buong araw. Hindi ito exaggeration o motivational hype lamang. Ito ay documented na neuroscientific reality. Sa mga sandaling ito, ang utak mo ay transitioning mula sa sleep state papuntang waking consciousness. At during this transition, ang mind mo ay extraordinarily receptive at programmable. Isipin mo ang utak bilang computer na nagbo-boot up. Sa boot up phase, ang system ay loading ng programs na magiging active for the rest of the session. Ang mga unang thoughts na pumapasok sa consciousness mo upon waking ay essentially ang programs na iloload ng brain mo para sa buong araw. Kung ang mga thoughts na ito ay negative, anxious, o scarcity-focused, ang brain ay literally programming itself para sa day ng negativity, anxiety, at scarcity perception. Narito ang alarming na katotohanan. Ang karamihan ng tao ay waking up to thoughts na actively programming their brains para sa financial struggle at poverty mindset. Hindi nila ito ginagawa intentionally. Ang thoughts ay automatic at habitual. Ngunit ang effects ay real at cumulative. Day after day, ang morning thought patterns ay reinforcing ng neural pathways na keeping them stuck in scarcity regardless of their actual efforts at capabilities. Ang neuroscience behind this ay fascinating at well-documented. During sleep, particularly during final sleep stages, ang brain ay processing ng previous day experiences at consolidating ng memories. Upon waking, ang brain is in what scientists call hypnopompic state. Ito ay transitional state kung saan ang critical thinking ay not yet fully online pero ang subconscious ay highly active at receptive. Ang thoughts na entering consciousness during this state ay having disproportionate influence on neural programming at emotional tone for entire day. Ito ay not mystical claim. Ito ay observable at measurable brain phenomenon. Maligayang pagdating sa Inner Mind Espanyol. Ako ang iyong gabay sa transformative na awareness na ito kung saan i-reveal ko ang specific na thought patterns na indicating ng poverty programming. I-explain ko ang science behind each pattern at magbibigay ako ng practical replacement thoughts at morning protocols na rewiring ng brain para sa abundance at prosperity. Bago tayo mag-proceed, importante na i-clarify ang foundation ng discussion na ito. Ang mga concepts ay based sa neuroscientific research tungkol sa sleep-wake transitions, cognitive priming at neuroplasticity. Hindi ito supernatural claims kundi documented brain science na having practical applications. Ang individual experiences ay varying at ang content ay pang-educational purposes. Consult mental health professionals para sa specific psychological concerns. Kung ready ka nang i-examine ang morning thought patterns mo at i-transform ang neural programming mo, isulat mo sa comments ang phrase na pinipili ko ang abundant morning thoughts. Ito ang iyong declaration ng commitment sa mental transformation. Simulan na natin. I-share ko ang experience ni Jonathan, isang 47 taong gulang na sales manager mula sa Pasay City. Si Jonathan ay may decent job at reasonable income pero perpetually feeling na hindi sapat ang pera at laging may financial anxiety. Hindi siya technically poor pero ang relationship niya with money ay characterized ng constant worry at scarcity feeling. Interestingly, kapag objectively looked at ang finances niya ay not that bad. May savings siya, may stable employment, no crushing debts. Ngunit ang internal experience ay as if always on edge of financial disaster. Ang feeling ay not matching ng reality. Nagpa-consult si Jonathan sa psychologist friend niyang si Dr. Reyes dahil frustrated siya sa disconnect between actual financial situation at constant anxiety. Tinanong siya ni Dr. Reyes tungkol sa morning routine, specifically ano ang first thoughts kapag gumigising. Nag-reflect si Jonathan at honestly answered. Ang typical morning thoughts niya upon waking ay isa na namang araw na kailangan harapin. Dami na namang kailangang bayaran. Pagod na ako. Sana weekend na. Paano ba natin mababayaran lahat ng bills? Tapos na ba ang sahod ko sa lahat ng obligasyon? Nagulat si Dr. Reyes hindi sa content ng thoughts, kundi sa consistency. Every single morning for years, ang brain ni Jonathan ay receiving ng same negative programming. Day after day. The same scarcity anxiety pattern loading upon boot up. Ipinaliwanag ni Dr. Reyes ang concept ng cognitive priming at morning neural programming. Ang first thoughts ay setting ng filter through which entire day ay perceived. Kung ang filter ay scarcity at anxiety, then ang brain ay selectively noticing threats, ang expenses, ang problems, at missing ang opportunities, ang solutions, ang positive possibilities. Nag-challenge si Dr. Reyes kay Jonathan na i-observe at i-record ang morning thoughts for 1 week without trying to change them. Just awareness at documentation. Ang findings ay shocking para kay Jonathan. Hindi lang negative ang morning thoughts niya. Almost exclusively negative ang thoughts niya sa first 10 minutes ng waking. Walang positive, walang neutral. Pure anxiety, worry at dread. Every single morning. Sabi ni Dr. Reyes na ito ay textbook example ng poverty programming. Regardless ng actual financial status, ang brain ay conditioned to experience scarcity at ang conditioning ay reinforced every morning through automatic thought patterns. Nag-design si Dr. Reyes ng morning thought replacement protocol para kay Jonathan. Structured intervention na systematically replacing ng negative automatic thoughts with intentional positive thoughts during critical morning window. Ang first month ay challenging. Ang old thought patterns ay deeply ingrained at fighting back. Ngunit through consistent practice, may gradual shift na happening. By second month, ang morning thoughts ay noticeably different. Less anxiety, more possibility, more groundedness. Ang surprising effect ay sa financial life. With reduced morning anxiety, ang financial decisions throughout day ay becoming better. Less impulse purchases driven by emotional regulation attempts. More rational assessment of actual needs versus wants. Better negotiations at work due to increased confidence. Isang taon later, ang financial situation ni Jonathan ay objectively improved. Not dramatically rich, pero meaningfully better. More savings. Better opportunities recognized at pursued. Reduced unnecessary spending. At most importantly, ang internal experience ay transformed. No longer constant scarcity anxiety, pero reasonable confidence at calm around money matters. Hindi sinasabi ni Jonathan na ang morning thoughts lang ang cause ng improvement. Maraming factors. Ngunit sinasabi niya na ang morning thought transformation ay foundation na enabling ng all other improvements. Without changing the morning programming, the other changes would not have been possible or sustainable. Ito ang gusto kong i-share sa'yo. Ang specific thought patterns na indicating poverty programming at kung paano sila i-transform. Ang una sa poverty-programmed morning thoughts ay ang immediate financial worry upon waking. Kung ang first conscious thought mo ay related sa bills payments, debts o financial obligations, ito ay clear indicator ng poverty programming. Ang healthy financial mind ay not obsessed with money. Ang pera ay important pero not the first thing occupying consciousness upon waking. Kapag ang brain ay immediately jumping sa financial concerns, this indicates na scarcity ay dominant mental framework. Ang neurological mechanism ay this. During sleep, ang brain ay processing worries at concerns. Kung financial worry ay dominant concern, ang brain ay priming ng related neural networks. Upon waking, ang prime networks ay activating first-hand immediate financial thoughts. Ang pattern ay self-reinforcing. Ang morning financial worry ay creating ng stressed state na affecting decisions throughout day, na often leading ng actual financial problems na confirming ng worry na strengthening ng pattern for tomorrow. Ang replacement approach ay this. When catching financial worry as first thought, gently redirect. Not suppression, but redirection. Shift to thought like ngayong araw muna. Ang financial concerns ay may designated time pero not first waking moment. Ito ay creating ng mental boundary na preventing ng financial worry from dominating morning consciousness. Ang pangalawa ay ang dread of the day ahead. Kung ang first feeling upon waking ay dread heaviness or resistance to getting up, ito ay indicating ng pessimistic programming na extending to financial life. Ang dread ay signal na ang brain ay anticipating ng negative experiences. Ito ay not specific to finances, pero affecting ng everything including financial attitudes at behaviors. Ang brain na expecting bad things ay operating defensively na limiting risk-taking at opportunity pursuit. Ang morning dread ay often accompanied by physical symptoms, heaviness in chest, reluctance to move, desire to return to sleep. Ang body ay responding to mental programming with matching physical state. Ang neurological mechanism ay that repeated negative experiences or negative anticipation ay conditioning ng brain to associate waking with unpleasantness. Ang conditioning ay becoming automatic, habitual, at self-perpetuating. Ang replacement approach ay this. Before mentally engaging with day, take 3 conscious breaths. During breathing, focus only on physical sensation of breathing. No thinking about day ahead, just breathing. This interrupts ng automatic dread response at creates ng neutral starting point from which more positive thoughts can emerge. Follow breathing with simple gratitude thought. Hindi elaborate gratitude practice. Just one thing. Buhay pa ako. May bagong araw. May opportunity. Simple pero effective at countering ng dread. Ang pangatlo ay ang comparison thoughts upon waking. Kung ang early morning thoughts ay involving comparison with others, specifically comparing yourself unfavorably, ito ay poverty programming indicator. Thoughts like, ang iba ay may mas magandang buhay, o bakit sila nakakaangat at ako hindi, o si ganito ay mas successful than me, ay toxic morning programming. Comparison first thing in morning ay setting up ng entire day sa framework ng inadequacy at lack. Ang neuroscience of comparison ay interesting. Ang brain ay having social comparison circuits na evolved para sa tribal survival. Ngunit in modern context, these circuits ay often hijacked para sa unhealthy comparison na creating chronic inadequacy feelings. Morning comparison thoughts ay particularly damaging because they are programming ng inadequacy filter for entire day. Everything seen through lens of how you do not measure up. Opportunities are not seen because focus is on lack, not possibility. Ang replacement approach ay this. When catching comparison thought, redirect to self-focused thought. What can I do today? What am I building? What is my path? Ang focus ay shifting from external comparison to internal progress. Remind yourself ng truth na your only comparison should be with yesterday you. Ang progress ay personal, not comparative. Ang pang-apat ay ang victimhood thoughts. Kung ang morning thoughts ay characterized by blame at victimhood, ito ay strong poverty programming indicator. Thoughts like, wala akong choice o ginagawa nila ito sa akin o hindi fair ang mundo ay victimhood programming. Ang victimhood mindset ay directly connected to poverty through mechanism ng learned helplessness. Kapag believing na circumstances are controlling you at you have no agency, ang motivation to take action ay diminishing. Without action, no improvement ay possible. Ang morning victimhood thoughts ay particularly damaging because they are setting ng passive stance for entire day. Instead of looking for what can be done, the brain ay looking for confirmations ng helplessness. Ang neurological reality ay that victimhood provides secondary gains. It absolves responsibility. It justifies inaction. It provides excuse for failure. Ang brain ay finding victimhood comfortable kahit na destructive long-term. Ang replacement approach ay this. When catching victimhood thought, ask immediately, ano ang control ko dito? Kahit sa most difficult situation may aspects na controllable. Focus on those. Shift from what is happening to me to what can I do. Ang simple morning affirmation ay helpful. Ako ay may kakayahan na i-shape ang araw ko. Not that everything is controllable, pero that you have agency and capability. Ang ikalima ay ang scarcity self-talk. Kung ang internal dialogue upon waking ay characterized by scarcity language, ito ay direct poverty programming. Phrases like hindi ko kaya o wala akong enough o hindi para sa akin, yan ay scarcity programming in action. Ang self-talk ay powerful programmer ng subconscious. Ang brain ay treating ng self-talk as authoritative input. Kung consistently telling yourself na hindi mo kaya, ang brain ay adjusting expectations, capabilities at behaviors accordingly. Morning scarcity self-talk ay particularly powerful because of hypnopompic suggestibility. Ang brain is more receptive to suggestion during morning transition. Scarcity self-talk during this window ay having amplified programming effect. Ang pattern ay observable in physical responses. Scarcity self-talk ay triggering ng stress responses, elevated cortisol, tightened muscles, shallow breathing. Ang body ay entering ng survival mode na not conducive to abundance thinking at behavior. Ang replacement approach ay this. Prepare ng specific abundance affirmations for morning use. Not generic positivity but specific counters to your typical scarcity phrases. Kung usual thought ay, hindi ko kaya, ang replacement ay may kakayahan ako na matutunan kung paano. Kung usual thought ay wala akong enough, ang replacement ay mayroon akong sapat para sa araw na ito at lumalago pa. Kung usual thought ay hindi para sa akin, yan ang replacement ay open ako sa lahat ng possibilities. Speak affirmations out loud kung possible. Ang auditory input ay adding another channel ng programming beyond internal thought. Ang pang-anim ay ang catastrophic projection. Kung ang morning thoughts ay jumping sa worst-case scenarios, ito ay anxiety-driven poverty programming. Thoughts like, what if mawalan ako ng trabaho, o what if hindi na kaya, o what if lahat ay mag-collapse, ay catastrophic projection. Ang brain ay having negativity bias na evolved for survival. Ito ay natural na imagined dangers. Ngunit ang chronic morning catastrophizing ay hijacking ng survival mechanism into self-destructive pattern. Ang catastrophizing ay creating ng stress response to imagined scenarios. Ang body ay not distinguishing between real threat at imagined threat. Ang morning catastrophic thoughts ay triggering ng full stress response that is lasting entire day. Ang chronic stress from catastrophizing ay having direct financial impacts. Impaired decision-making, reduced creativity, shortened time horizons, impulse spending for emotional relief, all working against financial prosperity. Ang replacement approach ay this. When catching catastrophic thought, ask, is this happening now? Almost always ang answer ay no. Ito ay imagination, not reality. Ang recognition ay reducing ng power ng catastrophic thought. Follow with anchoring thought. Right now, in this moment, I am okay. Ang focus ay bringing ng attention to present reality rather than imagined future disaster. Ang ikapito ay ang regret focus. Kung ang morning thoughts ay dominated by past mistakes, regrets at should-haves, ito ay backward-looking poverty programming. Thoughts like sana ginawa ko ito noon o bakit ko ba ginawa yon o kung noon pa lang ay regret programming. Ang regret focus ay keeping mental energy stuck in unchangeable past. Ang energy na supposedly available for present action ay being drained by ruminating on what cannot be changed. Ang morning regret thoughts ay setting up ng entire day in backward orientation. Instead of looking forward for opportunities, ang mind ay looking backward at mistakes. Ang opportunities are passing unnoticed while busy regretting. Ang neurological pattern ay that regret is activating ng same neural pathways as original mistake. Ang brain ay re-experiencing ng negative event every time it is remembered. Morning regret ay essentially starting day with negative experience. Ang replacement approach ay this. When catching regret, thought acknowledge briefly then redirect. Yun ay nakaraan. Ano ang lesson at ano ang gagawin ko ngayon? Ang lesson extraction ay useful part of regret. Ang dwelling ay destructive part. Implement ng gratitude counter. For every regret thought, immediately find one thing to be grateful for from that same past period. Ang balance ay preventing ng regret from dominating. Ngayon ay ishare ko ang comprehensive morning reprogramming protocol na maaari mong i-implement starting tomorrow. Ang phase 1 ay pre-sleep programming na ginagawa before sleep ang gabi bago. Ang morning thoughts ay actually influenced by pre-sleep thoughts. Ang brain is processing overnight ang last inputs before sleep. Before sleeping, avoid ng negative content. No disturbing news. No conflict. No anxiety-inducing material sa last 30 minutes before sleep. Set ang positive intention for morning. Simple statement like bukas ay gigising ako na refreshed at positive. Ang intention ay creating ng directive for overnight processing. Review ang prepared morning affirmations briefly. Familiarize ang brain with positive alternatives na ready for morning use. Ang phase 2 ay immediate wake protocol na ginagawa sa first 60 seconds of waking. Do not reach for phone. Ito ay critical. Ang phone ay triggering ng reactive mode at importing ng external stressors immediately. Ang first minute should be self-directed, not phone-directed. Take 3 slow, deep breaths immediately upon waking. Before any thinking, just breathing. Ito ay activating ng parasympathetic nervous system at creating calm baseline. After breathing, speak ang morning anchor phrase. Simple phrase, prepared in advance. Example ay, magandang umaga. Bagong araw, bagong opportunities. Speak out loud kung possible. Ang phase 3 ay first 5 minutes practice na ginagawa sa initial 5 minutes after waking. Body scan with gratitude. Starting from head moving down, briefly notice each body part at express silent gratitude that it is functioning. Ang practice ay grounding attention in physical reality at activating gratitude circuits. Intention setting for day. Not elaborate planning, simple statement of primary intention. Today I will be productive and positive. Today I will notice opportunities. Today I will be calm with money matters. Tailor to personal needs. Brief visualization. 30 seconds of imagining day going well, not detailed fantasy. Just general sense of good day unfolding. Ang visualization ay priming ng brain to expect positive experience. Ang phase 4 ay first 15 minutes extension na ginagawa in first quarter hour. Hydration. Drink full glass of water. Ang body ay dehydrated after sleep at proper hydration ay affecting ng brain function. Simple pero important. Movement, brief stretching o short walk. Ang physical movement ay changing ng physiological state at supporting positive mental state. 2 to 5 minutes sufficient. Journaling optional pero powerful. Brief morning journal entry. What am I grateful for? What am I intending? What am I feeling? Ang writing ay processing at clarifying ng mental state. Avoid phone at news still during this phase. Ang first 15 minutes should be completely self-directed at positive. Ang phase 5 ay transition to day na occurring after first 15 minutes. Now phone checking ay acceptable pero with intentionality. Check with purpose, not reactively scrolling. Limit initial phone engagement to essential only. Maintain awareness ng thought patterns throughout morning. If negative thought arises, apply replacement technique immediately. Do not let negative patterns establish unchallenged. Carry positive morning energy into first activities. Ang momentum from Good Morning Protocol ay supporting positive state for extended period. Para sa maximum effectiveness, i-share ko ang important principles. Ang consistency ay most important factor. Ang single good morning ay having minimal lasting effect. Ang consistent daily practice over minimum 30 days ay necessary for meaningful reprogramming. Neural pathways ay changing through repetition, not one-time intervention. Ang self-compassion ay essential. When catching ng negative morning thought, do not add layer of self-criticism. Observe gently. Redirect gently. Ang harsh self-judgment ay just another negative thought pattern. Ang patience ay necessary. Ang years o decades ng negative morning programming ay not reversing overnight. Progress ay gradual. Some mornings better than others. Ang trajectory matters, not individual days. Ang customization ay important. Ang specific replacement thoughts at practices should be personalized. Generic affirmations ay less effective than personally meaningful ones. Tailor to your specific negative patterns at values. Si Jonathan na binanggit ko kanina ay following similar protocol now for 3 years. Sinasabi niya na ang morning practice ay non-negotiable na part ng life. Ang value ay proven through experience. Ang investment ng 15 minutes ay returning benefits throughout entire day. Interestingly, ang practice ay evolving for him over time. Ang initial structured protocol ay becoming more natural at internalized. What started as deliberate intervention ay becoming natural orientation. Ang abundance thinking is now default rather than requiring constant effort. Para sa iyo, na starting ng journey na ito, ang encouragement ko ay begin tomorrow. Not next week, tomorrow morning. Ang implementation ay key. Ang reading without implementation ay not producing results. Start simple. Just the 3 breaths at one positive statement, then build from there. Perfect protocol is less important than actual practice. Track ng progress. Note ang morning thoughts at emotional states for first week. Awareness ay foundation. Then note changes over subsequent weeks. Ang personal data ay most convincing evidence. Find accountability kung helpful. Share intention with trusted person. Report progress. Ang social support ay strengthening commitment. Remember na ito ay skill development, not magic. Ang skills ay requiring practice. Ang practice ay requiring patience. Ang patience ay rewarded with genuine transformation. Kung ang video na ito ng Inner Mind Espanyol ay nagbigay sa iyo ng deep awareness tungkol sa morning thought patterns at neural programming, hinihiling ko na i-like mo ito at i-share sa mga kaibigan at kapamilya na maaaring benefiting sa morning reprogramming. Mag-subscribe sa channel at i-click ang notification bell para ma-notify sa mga susunod na videos tungkol sa mindset transformation at abundance psychology. Sa comment section, i-share mo kung aling sa 7 poverty-programmed thought patterns ang most familiar sa iyong morning experience at kung ano ang replacement thought na sisimulan mong practice. Excited akong marinig ang commitments ninyo at ang transformation stories ninyo over time. Salamat sa pagbibigay ng oras at attention mo sa Inner Mind Espanyol ngayong araw. Nawa ang mga unang thoughts mo every morning ay programming ng abundant success at prosperity para sa buong araw at buong buhay. Hanggang sa muli at magkita tayo sa susunod na video.